live. My first live stream in a while. I don't know what to expect, but who knows, right? I think my first problem is I don't have screen keys. Not sure if this is useful or not, but when I see other people stream, I always like to see what keys they're pressing. Ooh. And I also have to mentally remember what I shouldn't show. But you know, I miss playing around with Stable Diffusion. And these are stuff I played with when I was doing some Stable Diffusion work. Anyways, I will close this and get into streaming. I have no idea who will watch the stream, but I will, I think my goal is to be able to just start, you know. So let me see, I just don't, I'm using Restream, so I'm not too sure if it's actually live. I mean, theoretically it is. I don't know. Stream Manager, is this where my stream is supposed to be going live? Okay, it is. Looks like it's going live. Okay. And I think I'm also streaming to YouTube. Wait, how do I get into the creator's dashboard? Oh, okay, so. Whew. Alright. I'm not going to get into too much detail of how this stuff works. I mean, I have it running now, which is my goal. My goal is just to first get started and not worry about things, which is something I tend to do. I tend to worry. Let's see, is there a way for me to hear messages coming in? I don't know. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna let it go. Am I recording too? I want to record my streams. Start recording. Okay. So how do I go? Oh. I also like keyboard cams. I don't know. It's just a preference. I like watching other people's keyboards, see what they're doing. I'm not sure if it's helpful, but I find that if I need to do some hand gestures or some sort of sharing, I could with my hands, like when I'm explaining, if I need to explain anything. Okay, so what was I doing? Okay, before I get into my coding, because once I start coding, I'm not going to be talking really too much. I think I'm just going to do what I do. And if I come across anything that I find interesting, I'll probably talk about it. But otherwise, I'll just be coding. And I usually dump stuff on my notepad. Let me see. Remember to save down a help file in my docs to document the endpoint. Oh, I shouldn't stick that here. See, I jump around, and I don't know if it's good or bad for people watching, but I'm sorry if it's confusing. I'm not very good at 109 runs are good. runs. I'm not good at multitasking. Let's just say that. Um, I'm very like I'm very bad at getting off tangent if I try to multitask. Document, and you'll see me like a lot of people. When they talk to me, it feels like they don't know when I start and end in a sentence because I just literally would. What the hell is this? Okay, I don't know. Okay, delete that. Okay, see, I'm already like off tangent. What was I gonna do? Okay, I wanted to kind of talk about something very. I had a previous video that I recorded that's not live, but about AI coding. And I kind of want to maybe go into that just briefly. Okay, so if anyone knows Maximilian Schwarzmüller, yeah, I think he's a great, he's a great coder. I got to learn about him when I did some Udemy courses. I have a few of his courses, and yeah, he's awesome. He's an excellent teacher. If you have any courses coding related that you want to pick up, I would definitely recommend going to his courses. Yeah, he's great. So, anyways, I've been following him off and um, on YouTube because I know he streams, and I'm not sure if he streams actually. I know he has his own channel. He makes his own, like, he has some other videos on, yeah, on stuff. But anyways, he just recently posted a AI because he said, I'm not sure if this one's the same as this one. AI is making me dumb. Oh, okay, see, he changed. Okay, cool. I'm not sure if he caught it, but oh, okay, no, in the title, AI is making me dumber. Yeah, so this one is in line with another one that I saw, which I have a video that I also kind of commented on, and they're both I would say they're both experienced coders. Experienced coders using LLMs, using AI to code. Maximilian, I know he's I would say that he's super experienced in AI coding as well, just because he also has a course on Udemy for AI coding. As a coding with AI, and he's also created sample apps. Yeah, that I think he has it here. Yeah, business headshots. Interesting enough, I had an idea to do this as well. So, anyways, without getting into too much. Oh wow, curious as to his pricing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyways, not getting into too much detail there, but I just want to kind of like, I guess, react to this one. Maybe I'll watch it and comment, because I would say that after watching this, I had very similar experiences between both. I'm so bad that I don't know this guy's name, but I think yeah, because I don't know his name. I wish I knew his name. If you was CJ. Oh, okay. His name is CJ Reynolds. CJ. Okay, cool. Now I know how to refer to him. So CJ, I came across this also in my feed, and when I saw this, I also kind of relate to what he says. So, but I won't react to this one yet. But maybe I'll put my reaction. I have a video that I recorded just for my own self to kind of reflect. But yeah, he has similar problems that he's experienced, and his is more detailed, so I can go into that later. But essentially, what Maximilian has found is that One, I think it's terms of skill. Like as a programmer, there are certain skill sets that you have. I'm okay with the skill set being like certain syntax you might forget, but um, I think they all experience a problem. Maybe afterwards I can explain it, but I'll just say it right now. Um, if you program with LLMs, what you do is you go through kind of like a your experience is like this. You'll have some. So you can see my hands. So you have some like great experiences that you create something with LLMs, like you're prompting and whatnot, and you get some cool outputs. But then what happens? There's a dip, and then you come back up, and then a dip, come back up. Like the whole experience um, is usually a big curve of experiences that go up and then down, up and down. And what the ups are is when it works, right? When you have an output that is like maybe one or two prompts, or you fix something and whatnot, and it comes up, and you like, you have this experience where you're super happy because it works. That's, I would say, a very similar experience to how programmers feel when when you create a product that when you're working and you solve problems. Like you have this this dopamine hit that you've heard of, that you feel really good about. But what's the dip, right? The dip is when shit hits the fan. Like you start implementing features, and then it breaks. And it's not the thing that you're working on that breaks. Something else breaks. Um, and this is an issue that I won't get into too much detail, but it's context. It's what I term clarity and ambiguity problem. But everyone will experience it. Novices that are vibe coding will experience it, um, and people like even experienced coders like me that try to use the products to build systems also experience it. And I think um, from my point of view, and together also with CJ's, is that um, yeah, there's a lot of frameworks or methodologies you can use. Like I'm sure everyone's heard of the BMAD method. There is PRP. There is now I think GitHub. I think, what is it called? Some sort of kit. Like anyways, these are all like methods to help you guide the LLM, kind of like building more structured, documented methodologies um, into the build of a product using an LLM. Like it's essentially it's just more clear documentation, and I use it too. I use partially like some of the methods that are identified. I don't use them all in detail the way they use it, but I understand what it is, so I kind of created my own methodologies. But see, I'm getting off tangent, but essentially, like I think both Maximilian and also CJ has used different methods to try to I would say normalize the build. Normalize as in make it more clear. And I think what I've also done is try to make things more clear. Like I'll start breaking down things um, so that there's more clarity right in the beginning, right? And I think um, it doesn't matter how clear you try to get. There is always that the issue, the dip that I'm talking about exists all the time. It doesn't matter how you do it; it exists, and there are situations where code that you want the LM to just change something very specific, and it will change something else, right? And a lot of this won't get into too much detail here, but it's because of this what I call the ambiguity problem, um, that that no matter what, every problem you get into, there will be some ambiguity somewhere in the description, in how you explain it, and how you try to detail out the information. There will be all small minor ambiguous areas, whereas programmers, we would know the answer for, because we're trained already. But the LLM is also trained, but with a whole lot of different ways to handle one single problem. Um, and I think that's a, a problem that in my opinion is very hard to get by or get past because um, there's no standard way that it could really get itself to guide itself like 100%. It's this path, like this single path of how it should solve problems. It should take this one rather than going to like all these tangential paths. Anyways, I'm going off topic myself, so let's go. Oh, sorry, I think I'll start from the beginning. I don't think the audio was on. Or
That
maybe.
AI is making us way, way dumber. And I know that's not some shocking discovery. I'm not the first one to state or think that. And I'm not just thinking that since today. Instead, pretty much since the early days of ChatGPT and when this entire AI revolution started, I had my doubts and worries, as I'm sure most of us have. Now, that might be kind of a surprise to some people because I built an AI powered business headshots site, which allows people to generate business headshots with AI. I'm not the first one, I know, but it's arguably easier, cheaper, and I guess better than most other services I've found out there. I got courses on AI topics. I have a lot of videos about AI, and not in all of them I'm skeptical. And just yesterday, I had a live stream where we built a video generation app with help of Sora 2. So I'm doing a lot of AI stuff. And at the same time, I'm worried that we're getting dumber. Am I maybe just getting dumber? Well, possible, but mostly I feel that we got AI. It's there to stay, and it does unlock interesting new capabilities. It can make you more productive, especially also as a developer. I truly believe that, but at the same time, there are so many significant risks attached to AI and attached to using AI. And that's what I want.
Yeah. So risk is actually a topic that's quite important. I mean, I experienced it myself in what I'm building. Risk specifically, I think security. I mean, even just identifying the most basic security problems, um, like putting in keys, right? Putting in like environment keys into code, like these. I don't mind sharing this because this is just like local. So, oh crap, I don't. All right, maybe I should switch out my OpenAI key. Anyways, so wait, let me see my whole key. Wait, did I show my whole key or only partial key? Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't my whole key. Yeah, being a stupid first time streamer. Anyways, talking about security, right? Okay, so yeah, like these keys, um, they're supposed to be an environment variable. So, anyways, just in what I've experienced is that I was working on a part of the project where things were breaking. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, but what it did was literally it just decided that it couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. So what it did was it literally just copied the key from my environment and put it in code, and it worked, right? So luckily I was not like well, I mean, luckily, yeah. For me when I code, I look at every code change, so I was able to spot what occurred. Actually, before that, I knew. Uh, my hunch was that the environment variable wasn't being read properly. At that time, my environment variables were kind of like all over the place. It wasn't very good and how it was structured. But anyways, so I knew that it was very there was a high possibility it was an environment variable being read that wasn't being read properly issue, and so but then I'm trying to use the LM to at this point I was trying to get the LM to kind of solve my problems, um, and whatnot. Anyways, and that's where it kind of just did that on its own, right? Like, and I would say the environment variable issue being dumped into code is a very it's a well understood security issue. Like a novice programmer should never ever do that, right? Dump security keys into code. Um, it's like, yeah, it's almost, if you're a junior, you might, when you first start, you might not realize it, but I'm sure you'll get hit by this knowledge very quickly when you get code reviews and whatnot. And yeah, so I won't go into detail about why that is secure. So for the non-programmers, it's just not something you should do. But anyways, so he's kind of talking about security, and this is one of the small things that occurs, right? Other security issues would be like, like properly handling keys, security keys, expiry of the keys, um, and then there's like form protection, cross-site scripting protection. Yeah. Anyways, like a lot of these like standard things that we as developers kind of are very very aware of how to handle these. The LMs would not handle these by default all the time.
Want to share some thoughts about, or that's what I want to talk about. Because obviously, as a developer, and that is kind of my perspective because I am a developer, AI is really that two-edged sword. On the one hand, we're afraid that it will take our jobs, that in some years, in like 5 years, I don't know, it may be able to generate pretty much all the code, self-improve.
Just another side note on this whole thing about jobs. I think I posted some of this stuff in my own LinkedIn about jobs and loss of jobs. I don't think, I mean, I think there is definitely a shift in how jobs are going to change, especially with programming. But I think there is another whole, like, a new job class that will be created, and and I really believe that. I don't know how to kind of explain it, but I will explain that further in in my videos, and yeah, maybe later on.
And at some point we gotta ask ourselves if we still need to write or even control check the code that has been written. So that
Um, I I think in terms of coding, I really think that this whole ambiguous problem. I mean, even with context. So a lot of people think, okay, it's context is currently small, too small, right? You can't read the whole code base, or you can't. I think the code base, like reading the whole code base, is one thing. I think that, yes, that does allow the LM to have a bigger understanding of your full system. Um, but there is another issue which I think can never really be resolved, is the ambiguity in anything, um, in any project. I mean, I've been a developer for 20 something years. There has never been a project where I worked on where it's like I knew 100% all the problems and how to handle those problems in a very clear and succinct way. Like, I've never had that. And I think you will never, because um, it's never always that clear. The problems are never that easy to solve. If they're easy to solve, yeah, there is a very clear answer and direction to solve those problems. But a lot of times, um, there's a lot of ambiguity in a lot of projects and a lot of requirements. And this is not even talking and getting and putting into perspective timeline, budget, and and some of the constraints involved in developing. You just don't. We haven't even gone to those constraints. And then when you pull, designers, whatnot, into the constraints, there's certain UI methodologies or method of functioning that it needs to respect, because you're never, I mean, unless you're doing a solo project, but most projects are encompasses a team, and there are designs that have been previously approved, right? And those approved designs, you just can't just say, oh, okay, maybe I'll just do that partially, right? Like, I'll try to execute that 70%, and then the rest, I'll just let the LLM decide what to do. No, you can't do that. That's not possible. When it's a product that is commercial, or you're working in a company that, you have to look. These are things that you just have to stick with, and yeah, there's no way about it. And that's the way things work when you develop products. And so I don't think there is yet. I mean, I can't see a world in which the LLM can 100% take possession of the full end-to-end programming. Like like if you tell me that, okay, an LLM can get an idea from point A to point B all the way, like a complex project, fully without human intervention, I won't believe it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't think. Um, I, 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 I mean, maybe it's possible, but not yet. Um, Especially not with the way AI is coding with the LLM technology. I don't think that will be a. I don't think that will work.
That's one thing. At the same time, today, AI can make you more productive if used right, but using it right is so difficult. It's so easy to fall into the trap of endless prompting and of trying to write all the code, generate all the code with AI. And whilst
Yeah. So the endless prompting is one of the problems that I think every developer, actually not every developer, I think everyone, including vibe coders, experience, which is, and this morning I was talking to my partner on a project, and same thing. It's prompt, get something to work, something breaks, prompt that thing to fix, like prompt. It's like something small breaks, or something small moved. Like, it's always like, it's very hard to target um, something to make it work. And just now when I said the experience of coding with AI is that you get these ups and you get these downs, up and down, up and down. Like, I think both for vibe coders and developers like myself, it's the same experience. Um, and I can tell for like 100% certainty when I'm coding without LMs, when I'm developing strictly from beginning to end of a product, the experience is not like that. I would say I have never experienced it like that. Like, maybe as a junior when I first start, it was like that. Like, there are some, you work on something and something else breaks. Um, so there are those instances because, one, um, you're not coding that well. You don't separate your code. Anyways, I'm not going to go into the coding topic, but the better you code, the less likely is your product gonna break so easily. And as you get more experience, you start writing tests, and that will help maintain, um, like, help reduce the chance of breaking. And I'd say that even when I'm coding with AI, when I am also like writing tests, getting AI to write tests, um, I've had instances where all tests are passing, um, but there's still things breaking because there's not 100% coverage, and you don't want 100% coverage. Um, and I know some of the people will say, well, that's because you're getting the LM to write tests, and the tests are not testing against the features and the parts of your product that you want. Yeah, I agree, and that's a very valid point. But let me ask you in terms of like how would you work with with this paradigm? It's that if you're coding really coding with LM, it's spitting out a whole lot of code, right? And how would you do that? How would you do that in an efficient way? Like, and I mean, I'm curious because I do have some tests that are right, but I'd say majority of my tests are generated, and I think that's so it's checking against itself. So I think that is definitely a flaw in my workflow, but in a realistic world, how would those tests work? How would you write tests? I would like to know that.
Generating code with AI can be fun to some degree. Debugging code with AI is absolutely no fun. And it's super easy to forget that you're able to write code yourself and, well, just keep on prompting and try to fix that bug with AI by throwing more prompts at it instead of just going into the code and fixing a certain problem on your own.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're so aligned in the sense that that's what happens. You end up like prompting to fix problems. Um, for me, I try to review all the code that gets outputted, but like I said, sometimes there are a ton of code that gets outputted if you're just doing pure vibe coding, and so there will be some things how you just don't really know. Like I would say, like, just for myself, there's definitely parts of my code that I have no idea what's going on unless I really really dive deep into it. Unless I do a very very clear, like very detailed code review of my stuff, um, and then I would know. Um, but otherwise, what 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 occurs is that like you have to think why I would prompt more than just doing the code change myself is because I mean honestly my confidence of it's my confidence. I would say it's the confidence of understanding the code. At that point when I need to fix something, I would say that I am not confident to understand everything that's there. So it's easier to prompt to fix a problem, right? Because if I am to really understand the whole thing before fixing it, I would be spending a lot of time. And I think the overall time, if I am to constantly do that, I'm actually spending more time investigating and trying to fix a problem than actually um, moving forward in coding. Like I think if I coded this manually, if this constantly occurs, this back and forth with fixing and identifying problems, I would think that I would probably spend more time because the curve and the experience of developing all without LMs is it doesn't have those dips. Yeah, usually it's moving forward. You get something working. It's a constant like upward experience, like when you develop. So by the time you finish, you have a product well, at least it has the least likelihood of breakage. And I think with LMs, I don't have that confidence.
Or implementing a certain feature on your own. And at some point, it gets actually pretty difficult to do something on your own because as the code base evolves and as almost no code in that code base was written by you, it gets harder and harder to understand that code base and to make changes in it. And I'm sure we've all been there. I've definitely been there. At the same time, of course, using AI to implement individual features, small features, make smaller changes, or refactor code in ways that could be pretty annoying because it might just be a bunch of stupid copy and pasting if you did it on your own. These are the parts where AI can shine, in my opinion. The same for smart AI powered autocompletion, like the tab feature in Cursor. It can be annoying.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, yeah, coding with AI is still, there's still a lot of valid, it's a tool. And I think there are definitely some superior benefits to coding with an LLM IDE versus I mean, it's like an evolution of coding. Like before, you have a lot of these tools where it helps you autocomplete. I mean, it's just a more advanced autocomplete and like a way better autocomplete. Like not only it will fix the coming bunch of things that you need to type, but or input, but it can identify like everything that needs to be replaced on a page that's referencing something, right? That's cool because I mean I'll have to do that anyways if I was to make a change to, let's just say, a variable name, right? Yeah, I don't, what would you do in the past? You do a search and replace, but it would do it intelligently to know where um, the code, like where it needs to really be replaced in your code. And so I think coding with LM, like code assisted, like programming with LM is still much more beneficial than just strictly coding without it.
It can often suggest the wrong stuff and you accidentally accept it by hitting tab too quickly. But when it works, and it does work a decent amount of the time, for me at least, you can really
Yeah,
fly through your code base and make changes quickly. But
I agree.
it's, as I mentioned, so hard to get that balance right and to not rely on AI too much. And that's where I see the big danger. As we rely too much on AI, we might not be more productive. We might be less productive because we spend so much time waiting for the AI to hopefully fix a certain problem or to get something right. We might end up with code bases that are super hard to manage and where we got no understanding of what's going on in those code bases.
Yeah, so the more I'm thinking exactly like where he is naturally. It's kind of like I think there needs to be some sort of guideline, and it's not even guideline. I think it's almost like education. Um, and it's very hard because it's so easy to slip past how much. See, this idea of how much to use. It's almost like it's different for different people. Like for someone that's not a coder, I think vibe coding is cool, right? They're able to create stuff. Like my partner in this project I'm working on, she has no coding experience, and and she can actually put stuff together, right? She's using Lovable, and she's able to put something together based on what she's thinking, and I think that's awesome, right? So I focus on like the important API side where I think a lot of the business logic, all the important stuff, needs to function well, and she focuses on the idea side of what she thinks needs to look visually and also in functionality wise, like parts of what she's trying to do is just to put it together in the way that she likes to see how it will work. And I think that's cool, right? In the past, she will have to kind of like write down, picture, draw, whatever her idea is, pass that to a designer, pass that to someone, right, that can put her ideas into picture, maybe into wireframes. But and this is usually what, a 2-3 day uh, thing, right? It takes, she needs to be able to explain, and then the person that will take that information has to go put this stuff together. So it used to be, yeah, 2-3 days for sure, like for like some bigger well, not bigger, but medium size, like feature requirements. Um, but now it's not 2 3 days. I think like a day or even half a day, depending on what it is. So there's definitely efficiency there. Um, but but yeah, so this balance is different for different people. Yeah, like for me, I think I would see it as you'll need to be able to know when to use LLMs and when not to. And I think the when not to is an important factor. And I'll go into that later probably. Like the ambiguous side is where you should not. I also think you should not get into using LLMs to code a product from scratch. You could, but I would personally not do it myself moving forward after this project that I'm working on. I would rather like probably at least stub out what I understand and what I want to see first. Like a really like I mean I'm learning too, so MVP maybe like I'll create the whole MVP first. Um, and I'm not saying not use any AI. Like I will still use AI to help. Like when you're saying like when you code, if you have like autocompletes and whatnot, like I would use AI to help uh, with that part of the coding. But it's still me putting it together, right? Putting it together in the sense of what I would like to see my application to be laid out. So there's some opinions, right, on how that is, and I would like that opinion to be mine, not what the LLM has thought of, whatever. It's my own opinion, and then when it gets to a certain state of maturity, then the LLM can help with further coding. I think I think that would be the way that I'm going to move forward. I think that's the crux of making something work better because I've also worked on code bases. Like I've worked on other projects where there's very well established code base and it does very well, right? It can and even though it's a big code base, it can still provide solutions in a relatively well manner. Um, like Max said, there's instances that it's not perfect, but you know that's normal. Programmers are not perfect as well, right? That's why we. That's why sometimes, not sometimes, but code needs to be reviewed, right, by a third party. Of course, if it's. But anyways, yeah. Um, so like like not perfect, I think is fine. But as long as there's a solution or getting to a solution, it does well. Like looking at the constraints, you'll understand. Like I have seen that the LM can understand the constraints that it has to work within, and I think that context it does very well.
We might use it so much that we actually get dumber and we lose our skills. We lose our skill to build programs and to write code ourselves. And that is a real danger I see. Even as someone who has written a lot of code, I would call myself a very experienced.
I think he's identifying a worry that I think most programmers that are not willing to get into this whole paradigm is a worry. I mean, I've heard of the Primogen also having the same worries, but you can see that he's gone into trying to do code sprints. I think AI code sprints. Um, but I mean, I also understand that. I mean, I'm also losing some of my know-how, but at the same time, not know-how. See, it's kind of like I liken it to the whole era of computers, right? At first, it's these punch cards, so it's like zero and ones to be able to make something work, and then it evolved to what we have now, which is like now we can use natural language, right, to type certain things. Um, and in programming, we can use like relatively well. Anyways, so my point is, I can see that this is just another evolution of programming. Do we need to know the syntax? I think not. I don't think syntax matters as much. I think logic is important. Clarity, and I think database structures are important. I think data flows are important. I think I think whatever tools as programmers we use that that provides clarity to an application, the way it works, are tools that are still important to a programmer to be a programmer. But but if we're talking about writing like if statements, loops, um, I don't think that is as important in my case. Like, I mean, I think I can still read. Let's just say, for example, right now I'm like my background is in PHP and JavaScript, but I'm working on a Python project, and I think I have a very good idea on how the application works, and I can read the code. Like I would say that I understand what's going on in the code base here. Like yeah, I mean I have no problem understanding what's going on, but if you ask me to write this right now, I would need to yeah I don't think I would not I would say that I'm not comfortable with writing this from scratch, but I can read the code. Yeah. Um, so whether you need to know and whether you need to yeah. So I think that's the that's maybe a controversial topic. I mean I think it's important to understand logic. I think it's important to understand how computers work, how programming work. I think it's important to understand like what are variables, loops, ifs, um, data structures. I think those are things that are important, but like functions, I think those are good to know. Like it's almost like I think that level of understanding is important, but the actual coding of it, like how to write functions, I think like the I think that's less important. Yeah, like in Python you write like this, in JavaScript you write function, and then you have the dot notation, you have the short in PHP, you have like you can use functions, you can use like so many different ways of writing a function, right? And if statements, there's different ways to write if statements in different languages. I really don't think those are. I think in the future those are not
Experienced
important.
developer. But even as such an experienced developer, I sometimes find myself lost in code bases or yeah, really forgetting how to implement a certain feature or how to do something which I have done in the past, but maybe not in the last couple of months. And since I'm now using so much I don't know all the things I used to know. And I'm really afraid of that. And that is a reason why I'm actively trying to reduce my amount of usage of AI as a developer during developing. I'm not cutting it down to zero. I'm still using AI, but I find it very important to control your usage, to take a step back from time to time, and to still write code on your own because you really lose your skills otherwise. It's use it or lose it, right? It's the same for all skills in life, and it is definitely also the case for writing code. But I am not just worried about AI making me or us dumber when it comes to writing code. We got Sora 2 now. We got video generation models for a couple of months now, but Sora 2 is really good. We got a lot of other models for generating audio, obviously the large language models for generating text. We got those image generation models. And I don't know, you gotta be worried about what all these models and capabilities mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I'm just being too optimistic. I mean, there's definitely worries in different parts of, like for example, I mean, if I think there's like the worry about entry level. Yeah, I understand that. I think that's like in programming, the entry level is getting harder. Like the bar is getting higher. Yeah, that's true. But where is the new bar? I think that's the. I don't think there is a very clear like. I think this stuff is still evolving. I think there is a new bar, and I think the new bar is like if I am to predict, like I think it's important to understand the logic and everything about coding. I think that's still important. I think I think that's like the minimum bar would be there, and I think I think there's still. Would you need to know a programming language? Yeah, I think personally I would say to understand one language and to write in that one language as an entry point is important. I don't think it matters which language. I think it's just any language. Um, I think being able to demonstrate that you understand that language is important. Like so, small projects. But um, but yeah. Anyways, off tangent again. So it comes down to whether the AI can really take over everything. No, I don't think so. I think when you can't get things to 100% clarity, um, yeah, I did a video, Google AI. I did something yesterday and I thought it was pretty cool. Uh, is AI Studio? No, I did some AI editing yesterday. But anyways, I was using VO for video editing in Google, and I think I thought it was pretty cool. But do I still have it? I don't even know how I can save. Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. Oh, here. Okay, still has it. I don't know where it saved it, but anyways. So I was trying to play with VO, and I kind of connected to my experience with coding. So I was trying to make a dog jump into the water, and then there's a splash, because I think they're saying like water effects are super hard in real life, and this is my video. So so my video literally, the dog literally melted into the water, and that's kind of like the experience. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably push that somewhere just for fun. It kind of like it packaged my experience into this one video. Yeah. The water effect was great. The water effect was cool. But yeah, crazy. But yeah, so this is the whole ambiguity problem. I think it just a cute dog, right? So it chose a lab. So I guess that's an easy one to think. That's ambiguous, right? Jumping into the ocean. So ocean itself can be different things. So it's ambiguous. So it chose a beach with a big splash. So I think it took the understanding of a dog jumping into the ocean, but the context of it being on the beach, it just went, I don't know. I'll just guess. And my guess is that the dog will probably jump in and it'll just sink into the water, which maybe looks better if it was. I mean, I'm not sure if it can look better and if it was not a beach, but it'll be easier to kind of logically understand. But yeah. So don't tell me. I mean, can VO make cool stuff? Yeah, but can it replace? No. I mean, if you wanted to make a cool video that really, really did exactly what you wanted to do, I mean, it probably needs a very, very detailed prompt. Not probably, probably will.
Mean for the future of humanity, if you want to put it like this. Deep fakes are already possible to a certain extent. Yeah, there are some errors here and there, sure, but you can really generate images or videos that are hard to distinguish from reality. And again, I got my own website that allows you to generate images with AI, but images based on you to just put you into a different pose and give you a certain attire. But of course, you can generate all kinds of things with AI, not just put yourself into a suit. You can really generate videos now with Sora 2 that look like reality or almost like reality. And not everybody out there will see or understand that a certain video is AI. There are people that think that everything they see on TikTok or Instagram is real, and it's not. And to be very honest, even you and me, who got some understanding of what's going on in the AI space, even we will definitely often be tricked into thinking that something's real if it's not. And that can't be good for humanity. And I mean, our brains are rotting.
Okay, I think this part is getting off tangent. Um, B-roll. Maybe. Yeah, I think. I mean, I think that covers what I wanted to show. Um, yeah. So. I mean, I'm not trying. I definitely am not trying to be pessimistic. Um, I'm trying to be realistic in how AI coding should be used. How we can code with AI. I think that is just where would I finish? Yeah, that's just the reality of the situation. Um, yeah. So, um, yeah. So I'm just gonna get into the part of the stream that's gonna be boring. No, I'm not sure if everyone cares, but first and foremost, let me see if okay. So I want to see that I can react to my chat. Yeah. I'm using Restream, so okay. So there you go. I'm not sure if I should go into I don't know. I'm just gonna go straight into coding. I mean, I would try to see if I can react if I come across anything interesting. But at this point, I'm just going to code, and I will. If I'm trying to use Restream, and I want to see if it can give me a ding or something when it's a message. Email, analytics, filtering, show avatar. Hmm. No. Okay, I mean, I would say first, I'm sorry if I don't message or respond in chat, just because I'm not very familiar with how this stuff works, and I wish there was a way for it to go ding, because ding would be a good way to let me know something is occurring while I'm working. Okay. hell? Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I well, you should see what your contract first says. I mean, you shouldn't don't just rush into ending it because he's got a lot of stuff. Right, like he's got a lot of stuff that's that belongs to you. So that's the main thing. Um, okay, so yeah, maybe I can just not relate to my own work. Actually, this is my mom runs a hair salon in UK. And I was trying to help her with some. So she's been, yeah. Anyways, long story short, she's trying to identify why there's drops in bookings. Mm, I don't know why, but I can only help in identifying where I think there's problems, and maybe I can outline why here, just maybe for myself. But I see there's two issues here. Because the booking is done through a third party. Um, for I would not open a like what it does here. It opens it doesn't open new tab, and I think that's a bad flow for this instance where you're going into a third party. I think you want to make sure it opens a new tab. That's number one. Small minor things, but I think I think most people will be aware that this is not the same website, so they should open new tab. And secondly, I think it's more of a bigger problem is these internal pages. They should be. So right now, the way it works is every time you click here, it goes it goes to the it goes to the home of the portal, and I think I think the problem here is there's not a one-to-one match with how the website is laid out. So it'll be easier if it's because like you think of it mentally from a new user's point of view, and just being able to search or get into where you want to go. Like if it was me, a new user, and I'm clicking through and I found where I want to go, and oh, this is her confidence. So I'll be like, okay, well, book online. My expectation would be, my first expectation is like this would go regards to um, a booking place where it's talking about Japanese head spa, right? But that's number one. It's not. So you already have a disconnect. I am a bit more familiar with what's going on, so of course I would probably do things more not like a novice. But in this case, I would look here. I don't see Japanese head spa here. I see Japanese thermal straightening, which is not the same. And if I'm lucky, I'll find this, right? But see, and this is me being, I think, more familiar. I'll probably type in Japanese head spa. But so there's a disconnect with all these. And in some instances, like this one, there is nothing that talks about straightening, right? There's this. So then you get into a situation where there's a disconnect between the booking to the actual booking. For me, I think it would just be easier if it was just book online, and then for someone new, don't even think about who you're booking. See, right now it also has this price points. I was telling my mom that, like, from here, for me, it would be like, oh, so I'm paying online right now, right? For me, a new team member doesn't matter, but like I'll be see, then you have these, right? Like this is a very hard to understand. Like it's not connecting. Like it's not connecting for me. Beauty treatments. So what does that mean, right? See, there's not even beauty treatments right here. Like where right. It's too, the way I look at it is that it's getting into too much detail at the point in time where this detail is not necessary. So I think the easiest way is to for a new customer, I don't think they should get through this whole, yeah. I think they should just do an appointment. Like for me, it'll be an appointment for beauty treatment, straightening, digital curl, coloring, da 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 da. Yeah. So my mom is like, oh, there are people that are booking online, da da da, and then they don't show up, da da. Okay, then every booking should be like there's a, if they can change this to be booking deposit of £10, right? And then if there's a way to, please note about non-refundable, yeah. There's a disconnect here between the expectation of I just want to book something, so, and I understand if there's a deposit to book versus what this number is showing and how much I'm paying. That's also a barrier, because right here I'm already like, oh, I'm not like, and then you have these type of like quick, this disappearing quickly is annoying. Me as a technical person, I'll keep on pressing it to know that I want to see what that is, but if I'm not, if that disappeared right away, I'm already like, okay, well, that's it. I can't really book. This thing is not working the way I would expect it to work. Yeah. So I mean, I think I would make several recommendations if there's a possibility that number one, this is like organized according to their services here. Um, so even here, right? Book, cut, and blow. So if that click goes to cut and blow, perfect. But at the moment, yeah, that's not working that way. It's too much disconnect, and I think that this disconnect would turn away quite a lot of people. So my gut is what happens is like stuff comes to WhatsApp, most likely, or it just bypasses the whole booking right now. Like, why is there a drop in September, October? I don't know. I mean, I know that's when the Google ads started, but I can't say for certain. So without getting into why there, I would say there is a big problem right now with the booking to the actual booking process. Like they might be getting a lot of clicks, and they are, but there's a drop off. Like for example here, 35 clicks. Even if you get like okay October 3rd, 35. Even okay, let's not go to October 3rd. It's October 10th. October 10th. So October 10th, even October 10th, it's like literally they're losing. I mean, if you see even like okay, let's just say 35. There should be at least one, right? Let's just give it like half of it. Like let's just say like I mean conversion rate is generally like you know 2 or 3%. I'll just say maybe one booking, two maybe. Um, it might be higher because I mean too bad we can't check what where the click was from. I'm not too oh shit. I mean I used to get reports, but anyways, maybe I'll find out. But so like what's happening is, you know, I think the ads are bringing in traffic, but there is a conversion problem. And the way that it's tracking conversion right now, it's per click on the buttons, right on the book now, and I think the so if the book now, so I do expect if you click on this and there's a drop, that's acceptable, but I'd say 10% would be okay. I'm not sure what they were before, but a 10% drop I think is okay. But at the moment, it's yeah. I mean, these are pretty good clicks. Click into the ad. Oh, okay, wait, that's 30. I don't care about recommendations. How do you close this? See this? Okay, hide. Okay. How do I even look into conversion rate on a specific day? Today? No. October 10th. I just want one day. Damn it. Fuck. Just give me one day. Okay, 35. So out of 12 clicks on book now. Okay, what about... Yeah. I think there's a conversion problem. I think there's a conversion problem with... I think there's a UI. I think there's a... I would say there's a very high likelihood that this is not is the problem. They're getting the clicks, but they're not getting the conversions to an actual booking. And yeah, I'll see what I can do. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's interest, it looks like, right, from the ads. And there's interest from the ads, like even this one, right? There's so there's 35 clicks to the ad. This is pretty good conversion, right? Expectation. So if these are not converting, there's a problem here. Yeah. Oh. Oh well. Okay. Let me see how I can help. I didn't do any programming today. I literally did not do any programming. But maybe there's a value add to my mom's website. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if they can do like a booking that... It's like, how the heck does this thing work? This is so old school. It's like old school. Services. How does this thing work? I would say, wow. I mean, I feel bad. I think my mom took a lot of time just to get this working. Wow. I mean, is there like a spreadsheet? Can she upload spreadsheets? Oh man. Wow. How does this work? Oh man. Okay, how are we getting to showing too much? Anyways. Okay, like how the fuck do I get to frickin' appoint salon dashboard? Oh my god, how does this thing work? Settings. Online. Oh man. I can tell this is not straightforward. Like, how did the... Okay, so I won't put this in, but how does it... How did the output, like... Wow, man, this thing is freaking... Oh, man. And this is like the Premiere Salon freaking app. Are you serious? It's revolutionary. Wow. Man. I just want to be able to see how the heck this... Like, how did it get to this? Like, where do you configure that? Like, how the fuck can I configure that shit? This over save booking settings. I don't want to do that. I don't want to break anything. I just want to fucking... Products. Alright. Okay, I can't help here. I really cannot help here. I don't know how to... Okay. I thought I could, but I couldn't. I don't wanna waste too much time here. Right, there's the stuff, but they're not showing. I mean, everything here is just default price is £0, but maybe it's in legacy. I don't know. Okay, now signing out. But my gut is thinking that this from book now to here is a problem, a big problem. These numbers, problem. I think they shouldn't be there. Why shouldn't they? Yeah. I don't think it should be. Because you're pigeonholing some new person to already like making choices that they don't even know what choices those are, and it looks like they're also like getting into a position where they need to yeah, like this flow is bad, I think. Why can it not be like you're getting into a lot of problems where like I'm going like this and I can't... Oh, there, one. But it's... Yeah. I think it just needs to be... Yeah. So, I don't know what it was that, see, the... And this back and forth is also very shit. It shouldn't. This is still my queue's problem. I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, it's super old school. It should capture, like. Yeah, this is still my queue's problem. It shouldn't do this. I wonder if, I can book now. If I go do this. And I don't want to go ahead. Just close. Yeah. And that'll be a better flow. Okay. I think I've looked enough. I think I kind of have my own idea why there's a problem. Why am I always freaking choosing freaking color dye? I don't need to do that. I also don't need to do that, but see, I think like these I cannot book on its own. Like who would know that? Right? Yeah. No, I wouldn't know that. What does that mean? But if I really, really wanted to do it, then I'll probably take one more step. Yeah, see, that's also fucked up. I just went into this situation where weird. Anyways, okay. I'll try to document that. Oh crap. I guess I have to stop streaming if I do that. Or I'll do a new recording. Actually, I can do that. Okay, stop the recording. I'm still streaming. I wonder if anyone's watching me stream. No. Okay, so okay, I think just identify the problems that I've noticed. And I'm strictly looking at what I've seen in terms of ads traffic, and then conversion, because I think um, so from here I would say look at this period. We definitely have click through right from the ads, but and also conversions. Conversions in this case, I would say are clicks that click people that click on book now. I think that's what a conversion is. So my expectation is that these would convert at least a percentage of those clicks. So if I look, I think I was looking at October 10th. So it's 35 clicks through the ad and 12 and 1. So different ads at different conversions. So out of these, I would say that at least probably 5% should convert into a real potential client, or at least a booking. My thinking is that people that would click into the book online would probably have a very high likelihood that they will. But I think there's a problem with what I see in the booking page. So first, I think all the booking buttons should open a new page, because you're not on the same site, so you can really easily lose the user from the website. So that's just one minor. I think that's a minor change. But what I think is more important is, so these treatments here, the services, I think for first and foremost, I would think it's a lot better if this list here aligns with these menu items. For a user, it's just a lot more clear. Like I would, if I was to go and let's just say, oh yeah, find, I want to get straightening, and then I click the book online feature, and my first frustration is that I'm not at a page where I'm booking straightening. I'm just at some general page, and then the next problem is it's not so easy to kind of find your place here, right? Because it's not, the description is not the same. It would take someone that really is looking carefully to see that this is where it is. And even here, it's still not that clear. But so all these links, it would be great if they can go straight to something that's directly relatable. Like for example, this is Digital Curl. If it jumps to like if it goes to like this, that will already be one step closer. So that's, I think, point one. So this requires Salon IQ to do some updating here, allowing a click from the website to a filtered list of services based on what that service you click on was, because the prices is also like that, right? Right now these links are all the same, but it almost doesn't make sense to have these links individually because they all link to the same page. But if they had a way to link to like dry cut here, right, I think that would already have reduced some of the problems. And then if they want to navigate to other services for booking, Um, you know, if they had this menu, it would help kind of hone in exactly what they're looking for. The other issue I personally have is the whole booking flow, um, because there are certain bookings that are dependent on something else, and I haven't gone to what it is, but I know, like, for example, this cannot be booked on its own, and the alert message actually goes away pretty fast, so I don't really know what's going on. But even if I can see the alert message, it's also not very clear why I can't continue. So this is a place where you're gonna have people drop off. And let's just say I am able to book. Um, I'm not sure if you just saw that there. So gents cut online from £13. I click here, but actually there's nothing that's £13. So there's a disconnect, and also another reason for dropping for users. But the other part of this is that I would hesitate here, because I need to log in. But I think this is something that you just can't avoid. So, and I don't know what the drop-off rate is as a result of this. So I don't know what it is. But let me try and see what it looks like here. Oh, I'm showing you my password. Doesn't matter. My password is password. Maybe it's not. Okay. I guess maybe I should hide my keyboard. Okay. Okay. So I wouldn't have known that it's a deposit payment and not the full pay until I get to here. And before I get to here, basically it requires me to create an account, and that creating an account is also a barrier to the booking. So there's a few barriers, I think, right now. So they do take. Okay, so how do I pay this? Oh, agree to the terms. So Stripe. Okay. So I think it's cool here to have. So I know the deposit. My mom mentioned, okay, we can't not collect anything because there are people that would just book a spot and not show up. And I think that's cool. I think as long as they say, like, there's a £10 deposit here or somewhere that's straight up clear, I think that would be good. I mean, I would just go £10 deposit, and service from right here. That would be where I would. Yeah, I think that would be a better solution. Okay. So we'll stop recording that as a... Okay. Recommendation. I think the stream was totally crap today because I didn't do anything that is programming related yet. And I think that probably is a turnoff. But, oh well. Okay. Alright. So let's start programming. I'm not going to talk anymore. Pencil erase. No. Okay. I'll handle this later. Okay, what is a summary extraction? So one of the things I do is usually I would make sure this also makes sense. Extraction. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. Sample worksheets. Should use a compressed one. I guess we can start this. Well, okay, let's just commit that as an update to the docs. Alright. Task. Oh, man. Task start. Okay. Alright. Let's send it. No one's watching me anymore. Well, if anyone's watching, I'll be happy. If not, I'll be happy too. I think sometimes I just need to just get myself comfortable. Good. So it's getting that. Main thing is it's getting what I want. So what is task start? Okay, maybe I can go here. So I create some cursor commands. So commands are pretty, they're just like, they're very easy to use. I think all these packages like bmed, method, PRP, they're all just commands. So what are commands? Literally a doc. And you use markdown. You use markdown, it's a bit more, provides more clarity. Follow the it's just, you can read it later, but follow the instructions. Read through 3 documents I have, which is plan, readme, and do I have more Docker development? Oh yeah, Docker development. This one is so I'm not sure if I need to give it Docker development because it doesn't really execute properly. Like for example, it still does docker-compose, right? Task start. Maybe I should, for any documentation purposes where you need additional information, use context 7. So I have a context 7 MCP set up. So if you know what MCPs are, they're tools. So these are my main ones that I always use. I mainly use context 7 and Playwright the most. Puppeteer less so. I think I don't really use it anymore. Playwright seems to be way better for my use. Okay, so what did it do? Okay, so okay. So it just outputted 750 lines of code. This is an example of where I'll just breeze through that list. Okay, maybe I can take a look at what it decided to create as an extraction service. Init. Okay, these are standard, I think. Okay. Wonder why it didn't do that. Oh, okay, it does. Load style guide template. Oh, okay. This is interesting. What's the templates directory? Okay. What did it do? Okay, so it's here. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Just reading So it's basically just reading the style guide in apps. It's reading this. So, okay. Okay, that's quite straightforward, clear. So it's reading the first document in the database. So it's taking this one. I think this is the latest one. Um, it's like I'm almost showing you my whole key, but I'm not. It's almost done. I'm so curious. Okay. Maybe this is... Okay, well, it's done now. Don't know how long that took, but anyways. Just going through my code. Yeah, so this is a problem, system problem. So anyways, because I already went through other problems which require the LM to do this stuff. So I think this stuff should pass. The only The only part where I think it will have a problem is whether it's using GPT, like which environment. Um, I think it's missing a model map for content. Yeah, see, I think I'm not sure if it picked that up. I don't know. Maybe I wish it did, but I don't know. I mean, if I was programming, I would have probably picked it up, but ran tests that seem to pass, and it looks good and all, but so I have an extraction service. Okay. Oh. Okay, so okay, look like it's okay. Look good there. Okay. Well. Yes, I know you created all that stuff. Your stream. Oh, really? I'm gonna stop, I think, streaming. Oh, it's time for dinner. Okay, before I stop. I'll oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I got a message from delivery. So, yeah, I like to make sure. I also like to get curl tests created. Just helps me test them manually. And actually, I've had instances where they fail. And yeah, that's kind of like, I use Postman. I used to use Postman. Not used to, I still use it. But this is just easier to just have these tests. I learned this from a previous project where the team would add these tests into a document, and it's a good way to kind of, outline how everything is working. But I think right now, I think with docs as well. Yeah. Extract. to sleep. Freaking turns my computer off all the time. Alright. Let's try to run some of these tests. Okay. I don't need to know that. Bum 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 bum. Oh, maybe I should have music. Yeah, that would have been more entertaining. Oh yeah. There you go. Hmm. So you know how to do this already. Why having a problem now? Okay, here we go. The rabbit hole. Yeah, there's the stupid rabbit hole that I constantly get into, and I hate this. Why? You can tell me if I'm doing something stupid. If anyone's watching. Okay. I mean, it should be using GPT-4o because the configuration is set at GPT-4, but I also don't know. It should. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Remember, it was. Alright. Don't go too crazy. I know. Okay. I'm glad that I'm using a model that doesn't support shit. No, I don't want to do that. I want to... Wait. Okay, I need to see where is it using summary goal. Because... Can we just... Okay, so in this situation, our initial plan used summary steps. Okay, yeah, so what it did, it combined summary and goal. So it just extracts summary and goal. I think it could. It's just a freaking prompt. It's not gonna give a shit about whether it's summary or goal. Schema outputs, it says summary and goal. As long as it can do on the worksheet in 2-3 sentence, yeah, okay, right? So for me, we can do this. Right, go. Let's just catch this stuff. Summary goal. And then where it goes. I did something stupid, but well, it's typical. Delete goal. Maybe like, why are you doing it like this? And you're not. And you're not So I actually didn't catch one more thing, which I know because I'm just familiar with the application, and I'm pretty sure I updated documentation here and there to say there's a it's really stupid. Anyways, getting in too deep. So So this one was not updated. Or it didn't identify. I forgot to say one more thing before I stop. My experiences are also strictly, I use Cursor the most. I've used Claude Code in the past, and I want to stick with Cursor because one, Claude Code is super expensive, and two, Cloud Code is best used not with an IDE, so yeah, I don't think I'll probably talk about the differences in the future, but yeah. Mm, I mean, I'm okay with. Okay, yeah. Okay, same. Okay. No. No, I don't want you to fix them. Not right now. I use that as a way to kind of catch my problems right now. I mean, I'd rather not have the defaults, actually. Yeah. Have the okay. I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah, it's going through the. Oh, oh okay. Damn it. See this? Improvement. Get status. No, they're not stage. I didn't stage them. Okay, I'm cool with that. Just staged it. Okay. I'm gonna stop. Hopefully, I got one view. Oh well. Till next time.